Good afternoon and welcome to Real Chicks Rock Presents Real Discussions. I'm your host for today, Michelle Dosbert, and I'm always excited. Today is Easter Sunday.
Easter Sunday.
And we're working today, but for those of you that are celebrating, however you want to celebrate today, thank you. Go ahead, continue to do that. But if you want to hear us in the background, we are here. We're doing this today. So we're happy that the weather is nice today
because it was. Lord.
Because it's been unseasonably cold for the past 2 days and some rain and tornado watches and all kind of foolishness. Yes. And so today is a beautiful day in the A. And we're trying to make light of before we actually get into today's topic, because today for me and for my guests is pretty serious. And so we're trying to, smile and be positive about it. But today's topic is going to be kind of heavy for those that are listening, at least for me, because I have a lot of questions. But before we jump into that, right, I want to thank all of the listeners and all of the new people that are checking us out today. Thank you so much. Let me give you a little background about what Real Chicks Rock is all about. It's all about the empowerment of women. Yeah. And we do it through so many different ways and vehicles. This particular platform has been my favorite lately, where we sit and it's part of the media and we have guests and people that talk about different things that impact our communities. And I've had some artists and some Grammy nominated and Grammy winners here. So we're just really excited about that. We're also about public speaking and mentoring. And then the other piece that's still dear to my heart too is the community service piece, yes. Right?
Yes.
And so today the topic is homelessness in Atlanta. And I think for some of you guys that know me, I really have been talking about the homeless situation for a couple of years. When I first birthed Real Chicks Rock a couple years ago, I aligned myself with the Atlanta Missions because I had liked the fact that they empowered the people that they had, the women in particular, to help them get a second chance at life, like restart their life. So it wasn't just about you being homeless or displaced or whatever the case may be, but they were giving them the tools that they needed so that they could get back on their feet. And that's the empowerment piece that I really liked, and I appreciated that. And not for nothing, there was homeless shelters, one in particular we're going to talk about in a minute. But I just didn't see this mass abundance of homelessness that I'm starting to see over this past year or so ago.
Yes.
So today's topic is really important to my guest because my guest is Osborn Murray. Hi, Osborn.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us today. Osborn is very grassroots in the community, in the neighborhood, battling, helping to provide resources for the homeless community. We met through Linda Osborn, right? Right. A mutual person, and that's how it grows. You meet one person, and they know some other great and dynamic people, and you continue to learn and grow.
Yes.
And we had a conversation. And he gave me a business card, and I just was like, I'm interested. And I said, I think I want to have you on the show, and we're going to kind of talk about this homeless state in Atlanta. So as I was saying, it has really started to bloom in a manner that's undescribable. But before we get into that, Osborn, I want the people to know a little bit about you. So then it makes sense when you share some of your experience in the work that you do. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, again, my name is Osborn Murray III. I am actually recently retired from the military.
Okay.
And when you say retired, you have forms of retirement.
Okay.
Medically retired.
All right.
So you think about what goes into that, and you become helpless and stuff like that. So between the retirement and getting out, it was like stages into what I'm doing now.
Okay.
At the time, I had a broken neck. I had a stroke. My arm was broken in 4 places. I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk for a year. Really? And then it was real serious rehab. So from there, I looked at things differently. You have to think about the goodness in God and how he actually brought you back from where you were.
Right.
Because I was sitting in that bed many of nights thinking, why me?
Right.
And then it's like, well, apparently this is something I have to go through. And I'm very thankful that he brought me through it.
Got you.
So after I got through that, and again, thanks to the Army for all the rehab and the services they gave for me. But after that, I got out, I came back to Atlanta, and I noticed I was like, wow, that guy's homeless. And another, and another. I was like, well, is anybody doing anything about this? So it's like, well, no.
Okay.
From my eyes, but there were people doing stuff for it. But, so I'm not going to say that there was no one doing anything.
Right.
But, you see, as you say, you see things and then you don't see things.
Right.
And you have people who say that they're doing stuff but they're doing stuff behind the scenes.
Yes.
My thing is that basically I'm more of a grassroots, as you say, person, boots on the ground. If I see a issue, I try to tackle it head on.
Right.
Instead, if I see that it's 30 people down that need help, I'm going to try to get at least 60 pair of clothes. So they at least have two pairs of clothes.
Wow.
And shoes and things of that nature.
Right.
So
when you came back, you said when you came to Atlanta, what year was that? When did you realize there was a situation here?
2013.
Okay.
I was released January 2013 from the military.
Okay.
I had already bought my house in 2008. I lived in it for a month, and then I moved back in 2013 after I got out.
Okay.
So as I'm going again, I said, well, I'm coming back to Atlanta. I love Atlanta.
Right.
Everyone's young.
I said it's a nice city.
Yes, it is. It's insanely nice. You got so much stuff to do, and when you can meet this person, you can meet that person, connect, and then again, like I told you, I thought I was going to be the next KC from Jodeci.
He's going to be Jodeci. Come and talk to me.
I
you
know.
really thought he was going to do that?
I really thought I was going to do that. I was like, hey, I could sing a little bit. I could put, put something behind it, maybe a voice box or something, and cool, fix the voice out a little bit. But I had bought the sweatsuits, I had the boots. Yes, I really. That was something that I thought I was going to do.
No.
I thought. But no.
No. Now, are you from Atlanta?
No, Jacksonville, Florida, right down the street.
Okay.
We just come back and forth, me and my cousins. We were called Grace Under Pressure, and they wanted to rap, so we were rapping, but I like more of singing. I was like, I'm going to do this thing. Atlanta is the place. Everybody's coming. So I had this super big... Remember the LL Cool J big radio boxes? I had one of those.
Tell him, I know.
And you had to be super strong to carry it. I had one of those again, and I was just singing and stuff all around the city when Underground used to be the place to get discovered.
That's a long time ago.
That is a long time ago.
Yeah.
But no one discovered me, and I kept moving.
So was it from there you went into the Army, or?
I went back into the Army.
Okay.
I'd had a couple shifts in my life where... And I first was in the Army, then I got out. I went to college, went up to Howard for a minute. I felt like the city mouse, the country mouse in the city.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't used to all of the activities in D.C. that were there.
Yeah.
But I was fortunate enough to get introduced to Marion Barry, which introduced me to politics, which introduced me to how to do campaigns and stuff like that. And I think that sparked things for me.
Okay.
And so that he had, I don't know if you remember this thing called Pride. And pride in yourself, pride in your community. And I was like, wow, we can do something with that.
Okay.
And then I think that brought back the memory when I got back out in 2013. I was like, we can do something with this. Just you don't have to reinvent the wheel, just start it again.
I got you.
And I felt that, we can just help the homeless, but you don't have to coddle the homeless. Because once you coddle someone, then they feel like they're entitled to it.
Okay.
But a lot of people just want a helping hand. And even with the services that we bring out with our partnerships from other people like Atlanta Technical College.
Right.
They have an amazing dentistry in which they helped out yesterday. Miss Singleton, she's amazing.
Yeah.
They help with free services, screenings.
Yes.
Free screenings, and then you also have Atlanta Consultants. They do all the health screenings and stuff for us, which is amazing because the people don't have to pay, or they have a reduced fee, and that's what helps out a lot.
Yeah, Atlanta Technical College. I've had the opportunity of speaking with some of the students there a couple of times. So they are definitely trying to give those students the tools that they need so that they can be successful.
Yes.
In different professions, so that's a good look and feel. I want to talk to you about when you first saw, when it hit you So when you were giving us an example that if it's 30 people, to get 60,
Right.
So each person can get like 2 outfits. Where did you see those 30 people? Where did you first encounter that 30?
Peachtree and Pine.
Okay.
Where they, of course, it's closed right
Right,
now.
right.
And then the day that they had the deadline, it was disappeared. Everyone disappeared.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, where did the people go?
Right, right.
So I found out, that was the first time that I saw the need.
Okay.
Then I started following where they were, basically Garnett Station, downtown at they call it Tent City.
Yeah.
Also, you have a lot that's down by the jail on the train tracks.
Yes.
And I didn't know all of that
Yeah.
until I actually started going out there, walking, passing out stuff.
Right.
Passing out healthcare kits.
Right.
Passing out blankets, water, food, and all of that. And that became, it became more intense because I was like, my God, it's just so many that need help.
Yeah.
And then I started to say, well, we got to get more people into this.
Right.
And so once I did that, I started reaching out to different organizations, and they started to give help.
Gotcha.
And that was one of the biggest things, partnering with other organizations.
Do you have any idea what happened to the shelter on Peachtree and Pine? Why did they close? Any idea? Can you say, not say?
Let's say I was not there.
Right. What's the rumor? Do we know what's the rumor? What's the speculation as to why that closed? Was it money? Was it just too many people to be responsible for? Was it they busting out of the seams? Was it gentrification? Was it no? He's smart. I guess.
Well, let's say
I'm
that
hitting
according to the AJC,
Okay.
it was a water bill issue, tuberculosis, and crime. That's what the AJC says.
I got you. Okay. And just like that, it was
Well, I'm pretty sure there were some other
things that led to it. But yeah.
because that's a prime piece of property.
Yeah.
So
Key
we'll leave it
word.
at that. Yeah.
Prime piece of property. That's what it is too.
Yeah.
And the community, the homeless community spread
Yes.
that from that area because it was 2 blocks down
Yes.
and 2 blocks over to the or a block over to the left, if you
Yes.
will. So it went on. What's that? Is that Peachtree, West Piedmont or something?
Piedmont, and then you have is it Jupiter?
Yeah.
Jupiter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have those streets, and of course, you have Emerus right across
Right.
the street.
Right.
So I think that they were all gravitating there
Yeah.
because if they do get hurt, they can just go to the hospital.
Hospital.
But another thing that was happening also, you have a super amount of trafficking
Yes.
that goes on there, and I
man.
ran into a lot of women. I ran into a lot of women who had their kids, and they were using the kids as I don't want to say, but they were using the kids in order to get by, and I had to inform the police a lot of times about that, and then because if that's and they were really upset because they feel that it's their right to use their resources.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to be very, very
I understand. I understand.
their resources because it's their resources as they see it, but they don't look at the child as a human being. So that's one aspect. Then I met this one family who was 8 of them living in a car, and they couldn't get services because if you can get services if you're a single woman with kids, but if
Okay.
you're married, it's more difficult.
Okay.
Not saying you can't get services,
But it's tough.
but it's really tough. So we did reach out, and Atlanta Housing helped them, which I was so thankful for because the guy had real medical issues too. So again, partnerships are very important.
Yeah, yeah. So you came, boots on the ground. I'm gonna say that a lot, right? Ex-military person, not really. Boots on the ground. Saw the 30 people there, Peachtree and Pine, and you felt something, right?
Yes.
Because you gave what you had. The people needed it, but it was like, man, I barely scratched the surface. Because when you come with resources, it's almost like a sensory goes off and
Yes.
more people start to come and you feel like overwhelmed in a sense because
Right.
you don't have enough to take care of the masses, right?
You're so right, because that day we went down with a barbecue pit.
Yes.
20-foot barbecue pit.
Right.
And I think we were talking earlier about that. And I had chicken, hamburgers, hot dogs, and we had food and everything else, kits, healthcare kits, and we gave all that out. But we saw 100, I think it was 167 people that day. But it was so many more that were still hungry.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do, you know, and it became almost overwhelming to me because I felt like I can't help enough people.
Right.
I don't have enough to help all of these folks. So it became almost it became a mission because you have to, I felt I had to do this.
Yeah. So is that where your charity was birthed, or was already in flight at that time? When did the charity work start to really take off for you?
Charity work, well, I've been doing, let me say, I've been doing charity work for like my lifetime. My grandmother, she used to, still does, she helps with the Cancer Society.
Okay.
And my uncle does this thing called Food Share in South Carolina, and where you give food out for like, it's a box of food. I think we have a similar program here for like $10.
Right.
And it has a month worth of food.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how do we get that here? And then I learned about the food bank.
Right.
And the food bank, as you know, Southwest Food Bank, they give out tons of food all the time. And Atlanta Food Bank also gives out tons of food also. So I started getting with those people. And even QT gives out food. And I was like, hey, people love wraps, chicken wraps, you know, turkey wraps, and that became really a popular item. So
Okay, so you're a generational helper, like charity work. It's just like in your bloodline to just continue this type of work and giving and supporting and
I
that
never
type
looked
of thing.
at it, but I guess like that. But I guess so.
Yeah, it's generational because you've been doing it for all your life and you've seen your elders do it, and so this is something that's been passed on you, but you just didn't realize it. That's why you're here today.
That's why I'm here today.
We talk about these things and kind of flush it all out. It is really. It's a lot because that, like we talked about, Peachtree and Pine, that shelter that was there, it's like gone. If you drive down that street now, it's like there's no indication that there was ever a homeless situation in that area.
You're so right.
It's like gone. Like you don't even see a straggler. And how is it that they're able to just clear that area so well? Is it? Are they policing it, or is it what's going on in that space that it is no recollection of homeless people living there? He's looking at me like he can't answer the question.
No,
I'm asking the tough questions.
You have to think about the dynamics of the city.
Help me.
The city is growing.
Yes, it is.
Like you said earlier, gentrifying.
Yes.
And so when you have a growing city with a population that's there that needs to be, some may say is an eyesore.
Okay.
Then you have to do something in order for the new money to come in. Again, I don't want to say I'm an expert or anything, especially Atlanta politics, but I just see stuff, and we all see stuff. I think sometimes we have to have a meaningful conversation about what's really actually going on.
Yeah.
You know, and not just say, oh, it's great, but it's not. It might look like it, but it's not.
It's not.
You know, so. And let me say this. I think that Mayor Bottoms is doing a lot.
Okay.
As much as she can.
Okay.
You know, when you inherit a lot of stuff,
you
know, you have to deal with the overflow of everything else that you have to deal with. Even you think about the airport takeover.
Yeah.
You know, she's dealing with a lot. And she did initiate, I think her name is Terry Lee, who's now the chief housing person for the city, who's actually trying to help with affordable housing for the homeless and transient, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So,
you know, that was one of my questions too, because
trying to be PC here.
You are. And I don't know if I want that today, because we gotta get to.
Well, you get to it, you know. It's like
because it's an understanding. Like we can't. I feel like we are operating in blinders. Like we go by every single day. And the population of homelessness in Atlanta is growing.
It is.
I've seen it on 400 at Buckhead.
Yes.
Like going up 400, there's like the sound wall.
Yes.
There's a sound wall that goes up there because I take the train into work. So I'm on the MARTA, and I actually looked one day and I saw people, their personal belongings, like stuck up in the sound wall, going up to like past Lindbergh, going to Buckhead. Like it's everywhere.
Well, you have to understand also there's different types of homelessness where there are
now.
different types of epidemic
Okay.
or drug epidemic
Gotcha.
issues. So in the city, we have a big, we'll say crack,
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think certain minorities or certain races deal with certain type, only deal with, I don't want to say only.
Okay.
Black people are normally with crack or with weed.
Right.
Then you go up to a little further up and you have the meth and the ice issue.
Yes. Yes.
So when you have that, there may be a more lenient way to deal with things where it's seen more as a rehabilitation than a justification.
Okay.
So but I will say now we have started what they have a where they're trying to help you, where if you do have an issue, they'll try to send you to rehab.
Okay.
So, and that's one good thing that's happening right now with the
Okay.
courts,
Okay.
and I'm happy for that.
Okay.
But there is a big disparity when you talk about services on both ends, And like you said earlier, where did all those people go?
Yeah.
Think about even in January, and when the Super Bowl came, right? You had an enormous amount of people downtown.
Yeah.
But where did they go?
I have no idea.
So,
Would they bust out and then, or put somewhere temporarily and then, what?
Let's say the rumor
Come on.
is that they were bussed out
Okay.
and they were sent to different counties.
Mm-hmm.
But then, but you send them back to where they're supposed to come from, but then the people already have an issue there. So
Yeah.
what do? You send them back.
Yeah.
So now the people who you're sending back, the homeless folks, they're in a catch-22.
Yeah, they are.
They're already homeless, but now you got somebody who's angry with you for coming back to where you actually originally from. And now you're back here in the city, so what do?
Yeah.
So you have to find a place until this big event is over to stay. Like I said, when I went down to, as we call it, Tent City, it was an amazing amment of people down
Right,
there. And
right.
then that was right before the January term. And then when I went back down there, it was like Ghost City, just like Peachtree and Pine. So
Now, where exactly is Tent City for those that are listening?
okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, Tent City is, if you know where the intersection is between 20, 75, 85. If you, anywhere downtown the City Junction, when it slows down, you'll see the Capitol sitting over there. You'll see the big Delta sign and the IBEW.
Yeah.
Right under there is where Tent City is.
Yes, it is,
So
yeah.
walking under there, you will find, even I just passed now, I saw at least 50 tents out there. Not only under there, but down by the railroad on that side. And to walk under there, you have everything that, you have to remember, they have no bathroom.
Right, right.
They have no type of
Nothing.
shower or anything
Yeah,
like
nothing.
that. Now, one good thing about that is that Gateway is right over there. Gateway houses about 300 beds. That's a
Okay.
shelter.
Yeah.
And they do what they can do. But again, it's an overflow. We have
Yeah.
a massive amount of people. They can only do what they can do. So there you are.
Can we have another shelter open, or that's not a good look for the city?
I think we can have another shelter open, in my opinion, but I think that it would be better slated a little further out on the outskirts of the city. Because
Okay.
one, if you think about this, if you put the people out, let's say, out of their normal area, if I bring you into the country, like when they used to send me to the country when out in the summertime, you have a different perspective on life.
Yeah.
So now you can breathe the air, you can relax. There's no hustle and bustle, no cars running by. You can bring your guard down, and then I can also teach you a skill.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
if I can teach you how to do aquaponics, or I can teach you how to learn how to be a plumber, apprentice, or, because we have tons of people who are retired who are willing to come out and teach. So I can't teach you to test, but we can teach you how to be an apprentice, or we
Right.
can teach you basic skills in order to get you to where you need to be,
Right.
to get into where you might want to be.
Right,
Yes.
right. When you say possibly outside of the city, then that's a whole nother conversation.
It is.
Because now it's like, are you going to send them to Southwest Atlanta? Are you going to send them south? Are you going to send them north, like Alpharetta? Are you going to send them to Swanee? Or are you going to send them east or west? Like, so now it's a whole.
It is.
Because then I think it's a certain amount of miles away from the nucleus of Atlanta.
Right.
To make those accommodations, just to make sure that people feel like, ooh, why are you bringing them to my neighborhood now?
But you think about it, anywhere you put somebody,
Yeah.
anywhere you put one of these sites, it's going to be an issue.
It's going to be.
Somebody, even if you're out in rural Georgia,
Right.
you got a guy maybe 30 miles down, hey, why are you putting those no good people here? And that's what's, so it's like everyone has to give up a little bit of comfort in order to help as much as possible.
Wow, that's good.
You think about it, it's like, okay, I'll see my brother on the side of the street.
Mm-hmm.
Do I stop because, and give him something, even though it's inconvenient for me?
Mm-hmm.
So, it may take out 2 minutes of my time.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So it inconvenienced me 2 minutes in order to give this guy some food or something like that, or give him $1 or give him some water.
Right.
But if we all took 2 minutes out of our and inconvenienced ourselves, we can do a lot.
Yeah, we could.
Our community together, and that's why I always say the community is what can stop this thing. I do believe that. I think that, we have so much money in our community. I mean, literally, think about it. Atlanta has a lot of millionaires, and even people who aren't millionaires. If you gave $5, okay, if one community gave $5, we can even open up a shelter or feed people without going to other people looking for them to feed you.
Right.
I just think it's time we stop looking for other people to start solving our problems.
And that's true. And I think for the most part, people want to help, right?
They do.
People want to help, people want to give, but people will not be offended and they're not going to be insulted. So what's happening is there's a slow emergence of a different mindset for some within the homeless community that when you give $1, they'll tell you, I'm going to need $5.
I'm going to need $5.
Because I can't do nothing with that $1.
Right.
And tell you to keep that $1. Right.
Yes.
Right. There was a time that as a female, you drive and you could roll your window down and you could extend maybe some food, some money. Now, we're not really sure the vibe or the energy that person is on. It could be violent now.
Exactly.
So now we are sitting like, some of us are like, man, I'm not giving you anything because first of all, I worked to get this. Real talk. I worked to get this, and I'm sharing this with you because you're my brother, you're my sister. We look alike. It's unfortunate. I don't know what your situation is.
Right.
It's not a judgment thing. I just want to extend a hand, and you slapping my hand, man. Listen, we rolling. We're not going to do it. So I feel like I don't know at what part or how can we continue to help those that want the help versus those that are like, I'm starting to understand that this is a racket.
It is.
This is a business.
A lot of people have realized that a lot of homeless people are up on it.
Yeah.
And a lot of them use sympathy in order to gain the system that, but you have to think about it. They're in survival mode.
Okay.
So survival mode means whatever I have to do to survive
That's
for
true.
the day or tomorrow, because most people only look at right now when you're home. Well, most of the homeless only look at right now because you think about it, they're living for the now. And I do think when you talk about us giving, you have to be careful because you don't know what people are on. A lot of them, I met this guy yesterday. I was like, hey, I have some free services over here for you, even behavior services that are there and we can help you.
Right.
He's like, well, I'm schizophrenic and I'm on medication and I don't think you will want to talk to me right now. I was like, I can help you if you want to be helped. And he's like, well, I'll come back. And I understand that. He wasn't ready. And I think people come when they are ready.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So Osborn, have you noticed a difference in the types of homeless people that you've encountered in the past 6 or 7 years? And I say that to say, maybe, and I could be ignorance, I don't know. When we think homelessness, we think they were displaced. Could have been a fire, like no insurance, no means to get back where they were. Loss of job, something.
Right.
Change in life, right? Divorce, this, domestic situation. Like I had to leave. I didn't have anything. Some instances, run away.
Right.
Like, listen, people coming out with their sexuality. I can't stay there. I run away. So there were different cadences or attributes that led into why people were homeless. So I felt that was a time then. Now it sounds like we still have those variables in conjunction with mental illness now, right? Severe use of drugs, like different types of drugs. Yeah, it used to be crack, now it's meth and all this other stuff. Different things in this. Trafficking, there's so many other different things now that are part of the homeless community that it is an overwhelming experience. It can be.
It
right?
can be. And you're right, there are different levels, different types of homelessness.
Right.
You have the people who are couch jumpers. Let me sleep on your couch. My girlfriend kicked me out.
Okay.
But it's not really, I don't have a place to stay.
Okay.
You have the student who is homeless, who stays in the dorms, or they sleep behind the dorms, or they go, it's one case where the kids were actually downtown behind it was over by the rail. They had a tent, but they were still going to school every day.
Wow, yeah.
So I was trying to get with Marta to see if I can get them bus passes, but I just ended up giving them bus passes myself.
Wow.
Then you have, other people where the wife has been abused.
Yes.
And her and the kids are kicked out. But she's still taking the kids to school.
Every day.
Every day.
Man,
and they're sleeping out of the car.
Yeah.
And that's what, you have this, I guess you call it the hidden homeless.
Right.
So those folks aren't counted when you talk about the actual count.
I got you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
that's unique.
It is.
Because they're functioning.
Right.
They're functioning within their homelessness situation.
Exactly.
They're functioning. And it's just a matter, like, it's almost like they're just one step away from getting fully back on their feet. Like if they could just get that one break where maybe it's a consistent paycheck, or because one can't happen without the other sometimes, right? I want to give you a job, but what's your address?
Right.
And you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, how do I do that? And then in those examples that you shared, a lot of people continue to live life for normalcy, right? Just to know that I'm not out of the game.
Right.
Right? Because I still got it. My kids still need an education.
Right.
They'll get meals there. We'll deal with the night when I pick them up, but at least they can still have some sense of a normal, normal pattern. Me going to work, even though we live in the car, still I feel like I'm providing, I'm doing something, I'm using my skill.
Exactly.
And the kid, the college kid that's going to school. So those are like, I don't want to say functioning addicts, but they're functioning people.
Functioning people.
They're functioning in the midst of all of that.
And you have to think, it's almost like therapy.
Yeah, it is.
So I have to keep doing this in order to keep myself normal.
Yeah.
What is called normal.
Right.
So for the kids, they think we're camping out in the car or in the van.
Yeah.
So, but we're still going to school. We're keeping everything else normal. As for the kid that's going to college, you don't know where I'm sleeping at, but I'm still keeping a normal life. That's all you see on the outside.
Right.
The wife that may have gotten abused, or the husband that, may have gotten abused also.
Yeah, men are getting abused, unfortunately, too. Yeah, it's happening.
You got them big mamas out there to be beating men down, too, so.
It's big mamas.
I don't mean to say big mama. I was
got
just
something
like,
in their head and just being abusive.
Hitting the brother in the head and stuff. You know, but men, it is. But you have those people who have to keep up the normal side in order to keep them together.
Yeah.
So I'll be in my car, but everything else is, the same way. I might have got kicked out of the house, but everything else is still normal. So if I can just keep that paycheck, like you said, I can finally go get me a place to stay.
Yeah.
So
it all works out.
It all works out.
One hand washes the other in some kind of regard. Is it, from what you've experienced, is it more men that are homeless versus women, or the percentages are about the same, roughly, in your experience and what you've seen?
Honestly, I'm going to have to say, when you look at the numbers, I always think about, well, who's taking the numbers?
Okay.
So who's,
where's the data?
Where the data is actually coming from?
Yeah.
So, because I remember I had this conversation, I was like, well, I just ran across 300 people who were homeless downtown. And they were like, well, you got to be joking. I was like, well, am I joking, or you haven't been down there?
Okay, now.
So, But in my experiences, as I pass out my supplies, we have them separated as a men, women, and family packs.
Okay.
I give out more women hygiene packs than I do anything.
Really?
Yes, we gave out under Tent City 600 hygiene kits.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Over a year or during what was that
At
period?
that time, that was at one time at that one point. So
Are you
now
serious?
I'm going to say that there may have been at some points we give two.
Ooh.
We'll give two because it's a week's worth.
Yes.
So we may give two. So I would say at least, if I'm giving two, I didn't give two to everybody, but it was a lot. So I would say it's more women. It has to be more women because you got not only the women, but you have the girls that are out
Young
there too.
ladies too,
Yes.
young women.
Yes.
Oh man.
And so they have to be, we're trying to make things as normal, give them as much as possible.
Right.
Because it's really important because even you think about this lady I have on my Instagram, she was saying that being homeless and not able to bathe and not able to have sanitary kits, it's ugly. And that touched me. It hurt me because I'm like, I got to find something.
Yeah.
We got to get a shower system for these folks so that they can actually start taking showers. But one place I'm gonna have to say, Hope for Soap, they do a lot.
Okay.
They do a lot, and that's one thing that we're working on, a mobile shower. So if we can get a mobile shower, I can take it down there and just, warm water.
Yeah.
It's important,
Yes, it is.
So we can get that, and I think that would help out a lot as much as possible. I know I can't, we can't eradicate homelessness in Atlanta by myself, but and when I say myself, I'm talking about my team.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to make a big enough dent that we can help out.
And you're a nonprofit?
Yes. Thank God. A lot of people say they aren't, but we actually are. Yes.
Man.
Which was important because a lot of folks say that they are, and then they look you up and they're like, well, you aren't, and then they'll say, well, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But I don't like to come to anybody with half baked.
Nope.
So if you ever do give or donate, know that everything is under the 501c3.
Tell them the name of your company.
My name,
your nonprofit.
the name of the nonprofit is Kalelus Community Charities.
Okay.
And again, we are a 501c, and we basically serve the Metro Atlanta area.
Okay.
And we don't turn anyone down. Never have I turned anyone down.
Really?
Yes, I can't do that. It would just I couldn't go to bed at night if I turned anyone down who needed help. So it has become a mission.
It is a mission.
Yes.
You're doing generational work, legacy work here.
Legacy work.
This
Thank
is
you. I'm
legacy.
going to use that now. I want you to know.
Absolutely. Feel free to borrow that anytime. That's legacy work.
Legacy work, yes.
Because if you are so compassionate about it, this is really big. And I had no idea. I just thought, oh, he's a nice guy. He's probably out. He goes out. He does what he can in the little community areas. Man, you're touching a lot of people.
I have to say that I'm thankful for the partnerships that I've gotten to know. Even the political partnerships that I've had, they've helped out a lot. When you in order to, this thing is so big, you can't do it by yourself. You just cannot do it by yourself, and you have to have people like yourself who are helping me put the word out.
Yes.
You have to have government officials who are helping writing the legislation that will help you to help them.
Yes.
And especially when it comes to mental health, you don't want to put somebody in jail who has a mental issue, who's on drugs or something like that because of the drugs that you've given him. Now he's schizophrenic, so you can't put him in Gen Pop. You have to put him into a special area. So it's like all of that works hand in hand together.
Yeah.
And I'm super thankful for those partnerships.
Yeah, they've been incredible.
They have been.
And you've done the work as it relates to Osborn, reaching out to people, or have people been finding you and saying, I see you're doing some great work. I want a partner. I want a line. How's that been working for you?
I'm going to say that.
He's smiling like really big. Like
I'm going to say that I have people reaching out now.
Okay, now.
At first it was difficult because, again, no one knows who you are.
Nobody knows who you are.
And then it's a question of, why are you doing this? Are you trying to do gain for yourself?
Yes.
Or you must be running for some office or something
Right,
like that.
right.
And it's like, all I'm trying to do is help. I mean, honestly, that's all I'm trying to do. If someone needs food, that's what I'm trying to do.
Right.
And but the partnerships in DeKalb County has really picked up a lot. This one DICF is DeKalb Initiative for Children and Families.
Okay.
They are a part of human trafficking also. They fight that, so which is a part of people who are at-risk individuals
Yes.
that we help. So the partnership there has worked out well. You also have Atlanta Recovery, which I said earlier. It's just a lot of people who are helping, which again I'm thankful for, because I can't do dental kits, or I can't help you with your mental issues or behavioral services that are needed. So I reach out to folks, and they're more than happy to help.
Now, today is, like I said at the beginning of the conversation, it is Easter Sunday. And typically when holidays come around, that's when people want to give back the most, right? So you got the Thanksgiving buzz, and there's Christmas, and then there's Mother's Day, and there's, and there's Easter. And typically Easter is, we tend to reach out to the homeless community. We give them haircuts. We do the ladies' hair. We give them kits. We give them food. And then as the sun sets, right, those resources are gone, and you don't see them for another year, right?
Go back into normalcy, right?
Go back to normalcy. So you are here today, which I appreciate that, because today could have been one of your busiest days, but yesterday was a busy day for you.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about yesterday.
Yesterday was insane. If anybody knows about Atlanta weather, it changes on a dime.
It was nuts.
We had, first, I have to say I'm very thankful for all the work that we did and the people that came out.
Okay.
When you talk about setup and you talk about giving folks food and you talk about the homeless, you have to think about, a lot of people are weary. They're like, well, what are you doing over there? The homeless folks. Like, what are you doing? Are you going to try to get something off me? Or because they don't want to give their information.
Right.
But we were able to hold what was called Healthcare for the Homeless Initiative. This was our third one this year. And again, we were able to do dental screening and health screening, HIV and AIDS. And also, if they needed it, we were able to refer them out for behavioral services.
Nice. Wow.
Which was very, very good.
Wow.
I have to say, from that, we got another company that asked us to come to their hotel because they're more like a mainstay with a, temporary housing.
Yeah.
So they asked us to come there, and they have like 70 families there that they want us to come and help out and do a health services thing there too. So from there, our next one hopefully will be up in Gwinnett. But this one was really, really special because when people came out and it was bad weather.
Yeah.
Folks don't like to come out during bad weather.
Nope.
No one likes to come out during bad weather. So you think about it, it's like it was cold, it was raining, our tents were blowing away, and but we had good food, hot coffee, and amazing people who were serving. So yes.
And where was it at? Where was it located?
Wesley Chapel in the Decatur area, and across the street from the Home Depot.
Okay.
And we had a really good show.
How do you determine the locations?
By the need. We look at how many people are over there. Normally, like when we did the one right before this in at Gannett Station, the MARTA station, across from the Greyhound station, we'll say that.
I'll say it, keep on saying it's where Magic City is.
I wasn't going to say
He
that.
wasn't going to say it. I'm going to look in the camera and say, it's near where Magic City is, the infamous,
right across
popular,
the street. Yes.
Magic City. Yeah, my producer's standing up. She's like smiling at me. Yeah. So MARTA train station. Yes, the Greyhound is there.
Yes.
Magic City is there. There is a lot of homeless people. Because there's not a juvenile center, isn't there? There's like a
jail is right
a
there.
jail is right there. That's what I'm saying.
The jail is right there. Gateway is right there. And that's where a lot of homeless people hang out. So there we saw like 300 people.
Yeah, I believe you.
And I have to say, I am so thankful that the Wounded Warriors came out. That's the group I'm affiliated with also. The Wounded Warriors, Mission Continues. They were there to help because I only thought I needed 8 volunteers. In my mind, I'm thinking, I just need 8 people. And they're called the Keys. They're a military sorority. They came out and they were so efficient. They kept the order. They kept, directing everyone. They helped with pass the food out.
Right.
Everything. Because there was a couple of issues. People are people. But they nipped that in the bud and call it a day. And everybody was like, oh, okay. could you move over here? Oh, that's what you wanted me to do.
Mm-hmm.
You see? And that's what happened.
Yeah.
So to keep it lighthearted.
Yeah, you need more volunteers, don't you?
Yes, we need volunteers.
I think you're just being real humble, but you need a lot. You need a lot of help.
We need a lot of help because it's the community that, we're helping. And I think that if the community comes out, then we can just help each other.
Mm-hmm.
We can help our own selves. Because
Right.
once you think about it, if you help the homelessness in your community, you're actually helping your community, because when you're taking folks off the street, you're actually getting them employed, which is bringing more revenue back into the community.
Come on now.
And now you're able to have these folks help other people.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have housing, they can buy food, and you don't have to worry about them breaking in your house, taking
Right.
your food, or
Right.
trying to steal your car.
Right.
You know,
Because they're
so
making their own.
They're making their own.
They're
People
making
want to
their
do for themselves.
For the most part,
For
yeah.
the most part.
For the most part, they do.
I'll give you that. Yes.
For the most part. So that has to be screened. You have to vet those individuals out.
Yes, you do.
And
Yes,
that type of thing. I see you doing more than just. There are several components of. He's laughing and smiling. There's several components of work that you're doing, because it's not just feeding
Right.
the homeless, and it's not just giving them hygiene packets. There's this underlying vibe that you have, that you want to empower them.
Yes.
Those
Yes.
that want to be.
Those that want to be.
In the sense of, providing housing or leading them where they can get that housing.
Right.
And then you don't have a skill? Oh, maybe you need to be in a workshop, or we have people to teach you a skill
Right.
and help you get, the jobs. And it's there's a whole program thing you got going on over there in your head.
We actually have a what I call a SOP,
Okay.
Standards of Operation Procedure,
Of course.
that we are trying to put into fruition or bring it out. Because you think about it, if it's steps, if I find someone on the street, I can bring them in.
Yes.
Even if they're not there full time, you can come in during the daytime.
Mm-hmm.
I can help you learn how to be an apprentice somewhere,
Okay,
or
okay.
electrician, plumber, even someone who does carpentry work.
Mm-hmm.
We have people who are hiring and will teach folks how to do these things.
Nice.
Now, that is important because, one, a lot of folks just have no hope.
Right.
So if you have no hope, you feel helpless, you feel overwhelmed, then it's like, okay, I'm just going to be what I'm being and leave it at that. I'm not going to worry about this. Hey, I can make enough money doing day labor, and then just live for the day and call it a day. But I think that, one, like you stated, if we can, the community itself, start helping out with the teaching, training, we can retrain. You think about our seniors are the biggest amount of knowledge that we have. I don't, a lot of people like to discard them, but these guys have so much knowledge that it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true.
They're willing to teach.
That's true, because they have the time.
They have the time. Oh boy, you don't know what you're doing with that car. Let me help you fix it. That's the muffler, that's the radiator. They know these things right off the top. Or even, with the kids right now, there's a program that the NSA has that will allow them they're looking for internships during the summer.
Okay.
So even if you are into cybersecurity or you're into computers and stuff like that, we try to gravitate towards this. So,
really?
Yes. And they pay you. They give you a place to stay and pay you for that. So, you can either go to D.C. or you can be in Augusta.
Wow.
So that's one of the things that I'm working on to help prevent that. I was talking to one of the teachers the other day in Gwinnett, and they was like, it's this percentage of kids that just drop out of the system because we know they're not going to graduate. And I was like, well, where do these kids go? He said they become homeless.
Yeah.
Like, well, we got to reach these kids here before they fall out. I say, if you're identifying them in junior high school, maybe we should catch them,
right? Perhaps.
Before they fall out.
Yeah.
And try to work with them. It's got to be something else going on other than them not wanting to be at school.
Yeah.
That's all.
Is it just lack of interest for them? Or?
I think it's a lack of leadership.
Okay.
Let me back up. Let me say this. I think it's a lack of a lot of the boys that I see don't have fathers.
Okay.
So then if you don't have mentorship there, then of course all you're going to do is just do what your friends are doing who are not doing anything.
Right.
They had this experiment in Africa where these young elephants were running wild, just tearing up stuff which they shouldn't have been, and then they brought some older elephants in, and then the young elephants calmed down because the older elephants were there to guide them and tell them and show them what they needed to do. And I think it's the same thing. We have a lot of men out there that are trying to mentor, but they don't know, where to go, how to reach the kids, and I think that's a problem because I'm trying to figure out how to reach them.
Yeah. Okay.
How to find them. So.
Do you think if you had younger people in your team that might help?
Of course.
Just kind of bridge again
to each other. Millennials are millennials, and even little younger than millennials and stuff like that. But I don't like putting labels on people because that's what everyone does.
Right.
But of course. Generations can speak to the same generation easier than I can go and say, hey, you're doing this wrong, or maybe you want to try this, and it sounds better coming from like me telling you something will sound better than a kid telling you, saying, hey, what does kid know?
Right. Right.
But yeah, I do believe that young people, if I had more younger people, that they can help with the issue.
Yeah, facilitate that.
Yes.
Do we? He's laughing. Do we? I don't know, because I know you're gonna smile at me when I ask the question, but I gotta ask the question. It's not
Let's
that
do it.
bad.
Let's just do it.
Let's just get on out of here.
No chaser.
Does the city have some projects in place to help homeless people, as far as you know?
As far as I know, the biggest thing that I've seen is that Mayor Bottoms has the projected, from what I understand, $1 billion for housing and low income.
Okay.
I've seen that, read that rather.
Okay.
That's what I've seen.
Okay.
Atlanta Mission is one of the biggest supporters of the homeless.
Yes.
But when you go a little further out, you don't have that type of support.
No.
And that's why I'm out. I do Metro Atlanta a lot.
Okay.
Because you have to think about it. I think we have maybe one homeless shelter, if any, in DeKalb County. It's no fault on DeKalb County. It's just a point where, this wave of homelessness has just come really...
It's come out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Again, that's why I think that if we all just look at it, and just try to help out where we can. Not saying, and I don't want anybody going out and, like you said, especially a female, to approach someone if they don't feel comfortable about it, because you don't know what's happening with that person.
Yeah.
You have to be super careful also.
Yeah,
Not saying that but you still have to be careful.
Yeah.
And you should link up with an organization.
Yes.
Because you have a lot of people doing a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
but a lot of people aren't doing the same thing, And we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, because we talked about it during the green room opportunity or room before we started, but because there was a time like people could just load up their cars.
Right.
Right. Thanksgiving, you get the call. Michelle, we're gonna load up. We're gonna serve the homeless.
Yes.
Okay, I'm down. I'm in. Somebody's cooking the food. We're cooking. They got the sides, the styrofoam boxes. We go to a space not far from Pine or Peachtree or under the interstate,
Yes.
right? There's always people kind of give some out. They say thank you. You go on your way. That's what we're doing. People wanted to set stuff up in the parks, right? Oh man, Easter, we're going to help. Mother's Day, especially, go do different kinds of things. Now we can't do that, right? We need permits to be in the park to feed people. Is that what's going on with that? Why is it that by us coming to help, we're not really helping because we're causing more of a flux?
Well, let me say this.
What's going on?
I think that when you talk about feeding the homeless,
okay,
and you talk about things that other people may not be doing, it may be a sore spot.
All right.
So when I put in a situation where it might make it a little difficult for you to do what you're doing. Now, I'm not saying that people aren't I'm not saying the city isn't doing anything, because again, I do believe they're doing a lot.
Okay.
But when you have to look at different parameters. Because one, think about this. If you feed somebody, then you're responsible for if they get sick.
True. Okay.
And then if they get sick, then
Who's responsible?
Who's responsible for it.
Got you.
So I can understand limiting that.
Okay.
You know,
That makes sense.
the permit, I don't know. You
Okay,
know,
okay.
I don't know what the real reasoning was behind that. I just know that it's become a thing around the country. And at one point, I thought it was a war on the homeless. But I just do whatever I can do.
Okay.
You know, so I try to make sure I stay within the guidelines so that it won't be an issue.
Right.
So it's like you think about if you tell me I have to come on your show with a coat or, you know, with hard shoes on, and I come in with flip-flops on and a beach shirt, you know, can I still come on the show? No. I mean, you can come on, but I'm gonna give you a hard time about it. You know, so. But she didn't tell me to come on with a coat.
Yeah,
you know, it's just what I do.
There's no dress.
So,
dress
but
code here.
I think that if the city says you have to do something, let's try to work with what they say.
Okay.
Stay within the guidelines because you don't want any problems
Right.
in the future. So I stay within the guidelines, and I do a lot within the guidelines. So it's easy. You go get, but even with a business permit, what I just found out is if you are I think it's the guy told me if you are a homeless vet, not a homeless vet, if you are a veteran, disabled vet, you can get your license for free. I haven't verified that yet. So if you're doing your business license, which I already have a business license anyway.
Right.
So, you know, just get the license, $75, feed the people. If you have to take up a community donation for $75.
Yeah, then do that.
Yeah, if your organization, you have an organization, you can get $75 selling bottles. That's what I used to do when I was small, selling bottles. So
Bottles of water.
bottles of, you know, it used to be 5 cents on the bottle.
Oh.
You take it back to the grocery store.
Oh.
I don't even think they can do that anymore.
Oh, no.
I'm showing my age,
yeah.
but it is what it is.
Just
you
a
know.
teens.
Yeah, you know, I used to sell bottles, you know, and get the food and stuff and buy stuff for folks, and then, you know.
When you were a kid.
Yes.
So you've been, like I said, legacy. You've been doing this all your life.
But then, you know, I buy me some Boston baked beans. Folks don't know what that is.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
That and lemon heads came
Lemon
into
heads, yeah. You know, so that was my treat. So if I get $5 from the bottles, then I buy me some Boston baked beans
for 10 cents.
Nickel or 10 cents, right? And so, and a pop, and then the rest of the money I go buy some food and stuff for the homeless. So it's always something that can be done, even in the smallest amount. And, you know, we just have to keep doing that.
Yeah. Have you ever been discouraged in doing what you do? Have you ever said, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore?
Every day. But, you know, you have good people.
Me.
No, oh my God, overwhelming, because we have a community closet, and I'm very thankful that folks have started reaching out and giving. But it was like, okay, I've got way too many clothes. So then not only, because before, I think because I was on IG and I put down, I was washing clothes for the homeless. And I didn't know it was $8.79 a load. And I had like 10 loads, right?
Yeah.
So plus that was just to wash.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about dry. So like, okay, this is a little more than I thought.
Yeah.
But at the end, you have to know within yourself that this is what you're supposed to be doing. And if I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing, you take solace in that.
Okay.
And I'm calm and relaxed. And then you have good people who are helping you to bring yourself back down. You know, because I'm not going to lie. Yesterday seemed like, I was like, where's everybody? Oh my God, and it's raining and the folks are going to be, you know, but I had heaters in there. Everyone was comfortable. And that was the biggest thing, because I don't want anybody cold, especially the people who are helping me.
Yeah.
Because, and I think even when doing production, you know, you're always going to feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you have to be, because if you're not, you're the person that's got to make that everyone's looking at if something goes wrong.
Yeah. It's your baby.
Even when you're giving like a dinner.
Yeah.
Like when I never eat when I give a dinner, because I'm running around trying to make sure everyone's eating, everyone's entertained, everyone's taken care of. It's always
you may eat hours later.
Yes.
Maybe. Because then you have to come down off that high.
You do.
Because then you're always debriefing and figuring out what went right, what went wrong, how to change. Just you kind of, and then it's just the congratulations or the comments, and it's you don't kind of wind down until like hours later.
You don't, and you don't have time to coddle or babysit people in that moment.
Yeah.
You have to have efficient people with you in order to know that, hey, they're confident enough in their job, and they have to know that what you're doing is the overscope of everything. So if I need you to run the camera, I just need you to run the camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need you to bring your friend and they're like, oh, what are we doing? I understand. Hey, I'll accommodate you, but, let me do this. I'll talk to you. Just give me a second.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
you want to do this interview. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
I promise.
Where does your team consist of? How many people
Well-
help you to do what you do?
Let's say this. I have a team of consistent people, 3.
Okay.
Now, when we talk about volunteering, that's when everyone else comes out. Like my one person that's always there is, his name is, he's going to kill me, Kareem.
Okay.
He's with Mission Continues also.
Okay.
Him and his wife. Also, you have Karen Jordan. She's always there writing up stuff for me also. And currently, Julia, who is my wife, she does stuff for me also. She tries to keep things going.
Nice.
So we have those. Oh, and a DeKalb Initiative for Children and Families, Miss Sanders. She writes up a lot of stuff for me also.
Okay.
Her and Johnny, they're really good, really good. So you have a small core which brings out to
Which
more.
is strong. That's
Yes.
a strong group.
And because when you do that, then the Wounded Warriors come out, which is with Patrick, and then you have the Mission Continues, which is with Kimia, and then you have the Keys, who is with Kimia also, and then it just branches out.
So you have
from there.
layers of different
Yes.
people
Yes.
helping when you guys do things. So
Yes.
it's never really just the 3 or 4 of you guys.
No,
It's
no.
more than that. So you're not in this by yourself.
No. Partnership, again, is very important, which I'm very, again, thankful for because, again, I can't do this by myself.
No, you can't.
I thought I could at first, but then after feeling like, I'm just, because at one point I felt like it was just way too much.
Yeah.
And I wanted to just walk away from
Just
everything.
feeding people
Yes,
is a lot.
it's a lot.
It just to be able to put food together to feed X amount of people is a lot.
Yes,
Because it's the right food
yes,
to put in there, to package it, to bring enough, to have the transportation and the mechanism to get it there.
yes.
Then the people you need with you to serve the people. And then just to deal with the interaction because some are going to be very emotionally thankful.
Yeah.
And then some are going to be angry or some are going to want more and you don't have it. So it's all these different things that go into it.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because the guy was like, I stood in line for this. I said, yeah, barbecue chicken. He's like, man, you ain't got no ribs? I was like, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't have ribs. And the other guy said, I'll take it, and left with it. And I was like, but you're right. Even with the guy with the blue shoes, we were giving out, they were new sneakers. He was like, you don't have this in blue? I was like, not today. He was like, oh, man, I don't want this. And so somebody else took them. But where somebody else doesn't want something, somebody else will take it.
Yeah.
So, again, overwhelming, yes. Crazy feelings, yes. Wanting to walk away, yes. All of that is always there. Believe me, if it was not for the team and the reassurance from some of the people that I have, I mean, honestly, it's very big. Just like I'm sure you go through the same thing because this is not easy. This is not
And
easy.
this is a piece of what the brand does, right?
Yes.
So there's a community service piece and the mentoring, and there's a whole bunch of other things that we do too. But yes, this is just a piece. Here I just get a chance to cheese and just, have a minute to, do this. But there's so many other components. And yeah, oftentimes you think about it and you're saying, well, I'm crazy. What am I doing this for?
Right,
This is
exactly
nuts.
right. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody really appreciates this. I'm using my own resources to make this happen.
Resources, right?
And I'm just like, man, I could have been home today. I'm out here doing this, and then what happens is you get just that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always say, if you touched one, you've touched 1,000.
You have.
And sometimes you just get that one. And I'm sure Osborn, in yesterday, despite everything that was going on, there was one person. If it was probably more than that, but there was at least one person that really appreciated your organization being out there.
You're right. It's one guy. I just saw him walking by, and I asked him to come over. He's like, "Man, somebody just took everything I had," and so I was like, "Well, come on in. let's look at you, let's help you out. So we helped him, with his teeth and everything.
Right.
And they gave him a referral to come down, and help him out with his teeth. And we also gave him another bag, which had supplies in it for a week. So we can't give him a place, replace all his stuff or his things, but, just to help out for that week. And if he needs more, he has my number. So I try to help where I can.
Yeah.
And we gave him a coat also. He said, "Oh my God, I'm so thankful for the coat. I really needed the coat," even though he has really longer arms than I thought, but he was happy for the coat.
He was happy for that.
Yes,
Yeah.
very happy for the coat.
What do you need? How can people help you? Like the average Joe, average citizens. How can average people just help? What do you need? How can we help you?
Well, I found out that in order to run an organization, a community charity, you need donations. Donations are very important because the food, even though a lot of stuff is donated, a lot of the time you have to pay people.
Yeah.
Gas, you have storage, and a lot of times you have to buy these things also. So, donations, even $5, $6, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
And what brought me to that is that someone said, "I can give you money, but how do you do it?" And I was like, "Well, we have Cash App." I didn't even think about Cash App at first. I was like, is anybody doing Cash App? I'd never even heard of Cash App. A millennial told me about Cash App. I was like, what's Cash App?
Ain't nobody PayPaling no more.
I know, right? It was like,
or nobody's actually pulling out plastic
or
cards
doing checks
and doing Square.
Nobody's
doing that.
They're doing Cash App.
Yeah.
Oh, I can Cash App you. I was
like right now.
What's
Yeah.
the Cash
Yeah,
App?
man.
So Cash App is the easiest thing to do right now. So we have that. If you look on our Facebook page, you'll see the amount of work that we're doing, and you'll see the Cash App out there. It's Kalelu's Charities.
Okay.
And donations are always tax deductible.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we appreciate that.
Now, do you guys have a schedule of where you're going to be? Or like how can people find you out in the streets and doing what you're doing? Do you have like a calendar or?
We are putting together a calendar. Normally we go out at least twice a month.
Okay.
To do servicing, either feeding or we're doing healthcare.
Okay.
What we're doing now is actually putting together a calendar and listing it up so that people will know where we are. Because again, we've had requests from Gwinnett, from Henry County, a lot of different counties doing the South and Conyers to come out and do these healthcare events, which I didn't know people were actually looking for that.
Yeah.
So if we can put those together, that's why we're putting the calendar together, and so everyone will know. And also, if you, again, look on Facebook, you can always know what we're doing. So yes.
Is the healthcare just for homeless people, or can anyone attend?
I wouldn't turn anyone down.
Healthcare
so
screenings?
if you need help and we're there, we'll get it to you.
Come through, yeah.
Come through, please, because it's like this. If I see you and you're hungry, I have to feed you. If you are bleeding or you are, you need something, anything, I have to feed you. If I have the resources, I cannot just say, no, I can't help you, come back tomorrow. I couldn't sleep like that.
Okay.
So anyone comes out, they can get served. So yes.
So you're going to be out in the streets next month for May?
Oh,
what was
yes.
this, April?
We are.
It seems like you're doing stuff every week.
It does seem like that, though.
Because
we are out. When I say scheduled, yes, but we are out every weekend.
Yeah, you're out.
We are out there.
Feeding folks or providing the packages or something, combination of the both?
Yes. On average, we feed like 200 people every weekend or every other weekend, or especially when we do the healthcare thing. We're always feeding because that's a big need. So, yeah. And
in doing that, are you in the same vicinity every weekend when you're feeding too?
Well, what I try to do is hit different spots. Either a hit over in DeKalb or a hit downtown in Atlanta at Hurd Park, and we go to the Gwinnett Center over there, Garnett.
Oh,
Garnett, MARTA Station. Garnett.
Yeah. Garnett.
Next to the Greyhound.
Yeah.
Yes, to the Greyhound.
And Magic City.
So
that's a busy area.
It's very busy because, again, right adjacent to that is Tent City.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So we go over there, give them the supplies. We have supplies we got to give out. We were just granted, thank God, from Mission Continues, T-shirts, shoes, underwear, and more healthcare kits. We were just approved from United Way for their shoebox program. So they're giving us shoeboxes also with hygiene kits in there also.
Nice.
So we're going to pick those up to give out. So again, that goes back to the partnerships.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for that because a lot of people need shoes. We had a shoe drive also, which we gave, I think it was 300 pair of shoes out. And they were new, and I like to say slightly used sneakers.
Yes.
I was like, please don't give me something that you wouldn't wear anymore.
Right.
And you're not going to see too many homeless people walking around in high heels. So I was like, sneakers would do better.
Yes.
I'm not turning them away,
Yeah,
but
sneakers are better.
sneakers are better.
Flat shoes and sneakers and that type of thing. Wow. So what's next for you guys? So you feed people every weekend in different locations. People can find you where? Primarily on Facebook?
Primarily on Facebook, and we also have our website, which is kalelus.org, and I'll spell it because most people are like, what is
Because you say it
Kalelus?
with ease.
Yeah.
Does it have a meaning? Does it mean?
Kalelus means promised land. That's what this was called before this is what this was called.
Yeah, okay. Promised land.
Yes, promised land. So, Calalus.
Okay.
Most folks think it's calculus, but it's Kalelus.
Kalelus.
Yes.
Website.
Or Cebolus, which is Spanish. So, yeah. And
Okay.
the website that's the website,
Okay.
kalelus.org. Or you can find us on Facebook at Kalelus Charities, or Instagram, at Kalelus Cares, or Twitter at Kalelus Cares.
You're everywhere.
I'm trying to be.
You're
As much as
everywhere.
possible.
You're everywhere, doing everything. When are you going to stop doing this? Never.
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 I don't think it's. Whoops.
It's okay.
Hey, he's trying to get in on it too.
Yeah.
Hey, so I don't think we're going to. I don't see any time that we're going to stop because one, the need is always there. I'm actually trying to do something spread out in D.C. and in Jacksonville also. We have a great need there. We have people who are willing to start up. So we're trying to branch out and have the 3-quarter thing.
Yeah.
So if we can do it in D.C., do it here and in Jacksonville, and then once we do that, we can start getting the people who are on their feet to start going back and showing the other folks
There
how to
you
do
go.
it.
There you go.
We're teaching everybody.
You got to teach people how to fish.
That's right.
Yes.
So,
Instead of just giving them the fish, you got to teach them how to fish.
So they might want, salt, or they may have, they might want Cajun on it, or they might want it, with Lowry's or something. So we do it I give you the basic plan, but, if you want to spice it up a little bit or you want to change it up a little bit, but you're still staying within the plan, you can do that.
Yeah.
So I think that we can really move this thing to start helping people in different cities, different states, and make it work.
Yeah, I think the thing is that keeps us all humble, and I want people to kind of just remember most African American people are really just one paycheck away from being homeless. What happens is you lose a job, you lose your home for whatever the reasons. No judgment is passed. Things happen, life happens. People may be able to take you in, and people are not.
Right.
And then you find yourself, you're in this situation. So I really wanted people to, and I'm glad you were able to come today, because I wanted people to understand the softer side of it, because even though the vibration and the attitude of some are changing, even though our political offices may have good intentions, maybe not, maybe it's financial gain, there's just a lot of different reasons and variables that people are looking at Atlanta as an opportunity.
They are.
There's, as we said, prime locations and prime real estate and prime areas, and certain demographics are not the best demographic to reside there, to live there. And so things are happening to shift and make changes. I've talked about it several times. That you drive in Atlanta and there's constantly something being built. And risen from the ashes, from parking lots, from dirt, from this and that. And I say, where are the people coming from? the prices that they're charging, who's making that kind of money?
And you have to think about that.
Yeah.
Where are they coming from?
Where are they coming from?
Because one, if you notice that Atlanta is what they call the busiest airport. You can get to almost anywhere from Atlanta. So most folks, what they're doing is staying in, their fly out, and then stay here.
Yeah.
So if I can commute back and forth, I don't have to catch 2 and 3 planes. I can just stay in Atlanta and just fly anywhere I want to.
That's what we do.
And that's why the city is being built up.
It's being built up.
Yes.
It's like leaps and bounds,
Yes.
tremendously. But somebody's got to pay for that. People are paying for that, whether it's through taxes or whatever the case may be. But I wanted people to just kind of understand and still remain hopeful.
Right.
And still be in a space of giving and helping where we can. Because it could be one of us at any given time. We'll talk.
It could.
We'll talk. Because life has a way of being life.
Right.
And things change. And so I wanted people to understand that there are a lot of different ingredients to what we're seeing.
Lord knows, yes.
In this homeless population here in Atlanta. And I think that we as humans, we need to keep asking the tough questions. We don't have to ask the questions. Right. We have to vote for the right people in office. We have to continue to challenge and push that needle to understand what's going on. Because a question I was going to ask, but it appears that when you see a lot of homeless people, they look just like me.
They look just like me and you.
And I'm like, that is far from cool.
Exactly. When we go down to feed, now, again, perfect example, when the first time I went down, we fed at 167.
Right.
165 looked like us, African American. When we go down we pass out the hygiene kits, maybe 10 are white. Yeah. And again, I'm just saying it is what it is. Right. You can't look at it as a point where, this just happened because they're just down or they're not looking for a job or stuff happens. It's just a plethora of things that could go wrong at any second. Hey, your lights might get cut off, or you're facing a divorce, or your spouse has left. Now you find yourself without a house. Yeah. You'll sit in that house for a long time, and then sooner or later, Bank of America or whomever is going to come knocking at the door. And here it's 90 days. Okay. So it's not like in Florida, which is 9 months and stuff like that. In Connecticut, it takes over a year
to get people out.
Yeah. Especially you can't do it in the wintertime up there. But
it's cruelty.
Yeah. So
90 days in Atlanta, and you're out. And your world can change.
Out like a light.
So yeah, it's a serious thing.
It is.
It's a serious thing, and it is an overwhelming sensation.
Overwhelming, I would say, is an easy way to put it, because you have a lot of people who commit suicide. You have a lot of people who actually lose it. It's a big pressure that's on you because, one, you have so many other people that you're responsible for. Right. You have your kids that you might be responsible for. You have other family members that you may be responsible for. You may have a parent that's living with you. Yes. And what do you do? Yes. How do you continue that normalcy, as we were saying earlier, and that you're about to get kicked out, or that you're about to lose your house. And then once you lose your house, how do you explain to your mother or your kids that we're living in the van for a while? Or I got to let you stay with the aunt, but the aunt should let all of us stay in, but I'm not going to say, but it is what it is. That's another part of it. Yeah. So
it's a lot. Yeah, breathe it in. Take it in, Osborn. Let it out your nostrils. You're doing a great work. Right? You're doing a great work. I want us to partner. I'm going to see where the old Real Chicks Rock brand can align, especially with women.
Of course.
Especially because those numbers are high.
Very high. Very high.
Very high.
And that brings me to something I just thought about. When you talk about women, a lot of women have experienced traumatic events who are homeless. You think about it. They've been, what's the word I want to use? Accosted by a family member. Or they've been, something's happened to them in that type of situation that now they're not there. You know, I know a couple of people who have experienced that, you know, and that's traumatic. A lot of people push it back, and once it finally comes out, they lose it. They'll see that person, that family member that has bothered them or touched them in the wrong way. And then they can't function, and they say, oh, she's just crazy. You know, because we don't believe that we need, I'm not going to say we, a lot of times Black society doesn't believe that they need to talk to anyone about their problems. And that's just not true. I know I had to talk to somebody about my problems when I had my accident. So, but it's women really, and I'm not going to say it's just women, but there are a lot of women out there that need help. And they've been, it's just they go through so much. You talk about trafficking, then once they break away, then of course, what are they going to do? They have no place to go. You have no place to go. So it's like, even with children, you have like 50,000 right now, I counted, looking up some stats again, but who's taking the numbers, of homeless children because they left the house because of either some type of abuse or some type of, not only abuse, physical, sexual, and mental abuse that's going on. Once you're out there, then what do? You're actually you're beholden to what's out there, and you have people who are predators who look for new people who are out there.
What's that word?
Because they don't know what to do. They think you're your friend, and they're actually trying to use you as to pimp you out or something like that.
That's horrible.
It is.
It's a lot of work to be done, Osborn.
It's a lot of work, but again, I think that as a community we can pull it together.
We can do it?
We can do it. We have to do it. We can't just think about now. We got to start looking and planning for this. You know, we got our kids, so we have to start thinking about it. We got to, our kids, okay, in order for us to make it better for us, when we get older, we have to make sure that they're taken care of now. Raise them up right. Even if, like that population I was talking about that drops out, those kids, even though they're, some people may see them as bad apples, hell, let's make some applesauce out of it. You know, it still tastes good. I mean, a lot of people don't like applesauce, but it's kind of still, you know, you can deal with it. You can work with it. So
everything has purpose.
Everything has purpose. Even with down the street, you have Solomon's House. That's a women's shelter that we, you know, gave to and stuff like that. And they're doing great work over there too. It's really, really a lot of people out there trying to help. And I think that, again, I'm not saying men don't need help, but I think that it's a big epidemic when you talk about women, children who've been abused, and the reason that they're on the street. It's not just because they want to be on the street. Heck, they want to get away from what's actually happening to them. You know, a kid doesn't know what to do except for their friend tell them, let's run away, because their friend may be going through the same thing. So, yes.
Man, awesome work. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you got a lot going on. You got a lot of good things going on. Just giving back, and I want to just wish you nothing but continued success in everything that you do, because it's a lot of work. Donations are needed. Donations are needed, and he'll know what to do with the money. Don't you worry about what he's going to do with the $5 or the dollar that you donate, because he's going to need it for transportation and food and hygiene kits and just everything. Check him out. Know what he's doing.
Please do.
You know, this guy is an upstanding citizen here. He's a nonprofit.
And believe me, I don't even monitor. I'm not in control of the money. So I make sure that the money goes where it needs to go.
I know that's right.
So, because you're not going to get me on a...
No, we're not going to get you on nothing. Because you're not doing anything you're not supposed to do. Everything that you're doing...
You know what I'm saying?
You're doing the right thing. And so for that, we commend you. So for me, Hi, guys. Yes, we've had a wonderful conversation.
Amazing.
Listen, I got to plug in some things, because it's that time of year. Yeah, I'm coming with you in that. I'm coming. But first, I got to talk about, he talked about a lot about partnerships. I have one. I have a few. Ooh. Yes. I have a strategic partner. Yes, I do. And it is with Hot Ice Live Entertainment. Yeah, we're going to lighten things up. I know, that's right. You, in between all that working, you need to get out and have a good time every now and then. So we have some things coming up at Vakeman's, yes, in the city. Living for the City, the Stevie Wonder tribute, right? So that's happening Saturday, May 4th at 9:30. So you need to hurry up and get your ticket for this one, because it's going to be good. These tribute shows typically sell out standing room only. We want to see you in the place. So you come and be a part of that night. Yeah, you need to come and unwind and
Roger
you need to do that.
I think I
You
will.
know, bring your wife and come through and have a wonderful time for that. Then we slide on. But before we do the night, because I got another partnership. Yeah. Tambor, you guys always, you know that I love house music, and so yes, clap for the house music.
DC house music.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it's been, Tambor is celebrating 10 years. I've been honored to be a part of Tambor for 5. And so we're having the grounding party the same day on May 4th, right, on the Beltline. It's free. It's free for family. It's family, fun, free. Come on out. It's a free event. We'll be by the skate park. It's going to start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it'll go till about 8. Then you go home, you shower, you come out that night, you party with us all night.
Roger that.
It's a full day. May 4th is a very full day. So for that, go ahead and do that. I got another person that was a previous guest of mine, Nani Walker. She has what I like to consider, we've been talking about health and wellness, and the conversation was really about traditional medicine or traditional health versus energy, wellness, and that type of thing.
Yes, holistic.
Yeah, very holistic. And so, a lot of people are starting to gauge and pivot and turn and get more of that in their life.
I agree.
They're finding that is just as helpful as the traditional practice of medicine and that type of thing.
Yes, it is.
So join my friend Nani Walker. She's having a live class at 9 p.m. on 424 and talking about Your Womb is Magic. It's an intro to womb wellness and care. And, to our point, we were talking about women and a lot of trauma and things that they go through. Hopefully this type of class or this type of conversation will help women deal with some of the trauma, some of the experiences, or just the illnesses that they carry, and they don't realize that they're carrying it. So feel free to register for this online. Again, it's this week. It's 424. The date is going to be at 9 p.m. Again, Your Womb is Your Magic. All the details are here. If you want more, feel free to inbox me, and we'll talk about that more. But yes, we have a lot of things going on. But last but not least, somebody that's very special to me as well. We talked about teams, right?
Yes.
And the person that works with me is Sean Williams, and she's incredible. That email invitation and letter you get and says, Sean helps me keep Real Chicks Rock going. And so when you have people that have a dream and a passion for their own, you gotta support them.
You have to.
So who would I be if I didn't give Sean an opportunity to just use my platform to promote teen wellness and teen empowerment? Because teens, to your point, we're talking about young people. They have a lot of decisions that they have to make.
They do.
And so we want to kind of empower them, especially our young girls. We want them to understand what their rights are and how to date and how to be engaged with different people and just kind of maneuver through life as best as they can. So Sean has a workshop coming up. It's called Teen Girls Empowerment Workshop. We had a successful one last month. We're going to have another one in May. I say we because I'm a strategic partner. I like being a part of things that help change the lives of many people. So you guys stand by and listen to this commercial, this promo coming right up.
Cool beans.
Don't miss out on this great event. Be a part of our Teen Girls Empowerment Workshop series, a series that aims to motivate, inspire, and empower our teen girls. Our next interactive hands-on workshop is Saturday, May 18th, 2019 at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is a affirmation-based event that incorporates wellness strategy to promote self-love and body positivity. Presented by Aisha Gaines, founder of A Firm on the Go, and her team of phenomenal women. Tickets are on sale at Eventbrite. For more information, go to teengirlsempowermentexpo.org or connect with us at Teen Girls Empowerment Inc. on Facebook and Instagram.
So there you go. So that's all my announcements for today. Again, thank you, Osborn, for coming. I appreciate
Thank you for inviting me.
How can people find you? One more time.
Best way to find me is through kalelus.org or Facebook at Kalelus Charities.
Okay.
Or Instagram at Kalelus Cares. And I'll spell it again.
Yes, please and thank you.
It's CALALUS, which again means promised land. So,
Okay.
yes.
Well, thank you for your time. That's it. That's it for me. You know where to find me. I am everywhere. I'm at realchicksrock.com, the website. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm here every first and third Sunday. Listen, you like this show. You know that you do. So why don't just subscribe. Just go on and subscribe to us on YouTube. We're on iTunes. Yeah, we're on the On channel. We're on Urban Music Report, loading down apps, doing all that. Listen, you didn't catch everything that we talked about today. You want to hear it again? There was other shows that you missed. Osborn is going to go back and listen to the Don Tallman, Julie McKnight show I had last week,
Yes,
2
I
weeks
am.
ago.
Yes, I
Because
am.
everybody likes the intro to the show. So
Love it.
Listen, so go and subscribe to the channel. Slide this in somebody's life on the DMs, promote it, push it out. We love Ratchet, but we gotta do better with good content, and get it out there. So help me raise the vibration. That's my time. Thank you. Until next time, you continue to take care. Rock on. Bye.